Welcome to the Good Karma Sportfishing Podcast. I'm your host, Captain Ryan Van Fleet. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. A couple things. So, most of you guys know where the Yellow Bait House is in Key Largo. And it's just like an icon stop for most. You know, they come into the Keys on vacation or they make their way down. They always stop and their first stop is usually the Yellow Bait House. Over the years, it's changed, and it's changing even more for the better. So I stopped in there the other day, and Matt said, "Hey, Ryan, I want to show you something." And he has a wall full of some badass sea witches that I talk about on this podcast. So I'm not going to tell you guys what they are, but they are cool. Every color that I use is there. The blue and the crystal is there for sale with the orange head, the pinks, the purples. It was like awesome, man. He's like, yeah, I'm really trying to build the shop up for the hardcore anglers. So, and it's cool that he's doing that because the stuff that he's bringing in is awesome. Now, what else does he have in there? He is now stocked with bait strips, which are awesome. Awesome. So I'll be talking more about bait strips here in the future some more because they are one of my favorite lures to use. And so again, you can stop in at the Yellow Bait House, check out what they got in there. They really are like it's really cool. And also too, they're bringing in some Gold Coast ballyhoo rigs. They are, in my opinion, the best as far as double hooked ballyhoo. The ballyhoo is well taken care of. It's the stuff's coming out of Key West, and I know the stuff is fresh because there's kind of if there's no ballyhoo available, then they're not able to get the rigs done. So that's how fresh this stuff is coming in. Now, I don't buy a lot of pre-purchased ballyhoo because I make my own rigs, but from time to time I will buy the packs of 12, and that's what I look for are those Gold Coast ballyhoo. Because they're Key West greenies and they just will hold up in the package. I don't like the bluebacks because the bellies get soft, but if you're looking to troll some ballyhoo, those Gold Coast are really nice ballyhoos to buy. Matt's also bringing in mullet strips, which are awesome. In my opinion, mullet strips are badass because they have that white reflection. It's a more natural bait, and you don't see a lot of guys using them because, number one, they're hard to make, and yeah, that's kind of it. So, but the tournament guys are using them, but I'm going to be using some mullet strips from there. Now, I mentioned in the past that ballyhoo is like I got a love-hate relationship with it because there's just a lot for that fish to bite on. So I prefer using the bait strips because, number one, they're awesome. They work. And I really, really love the mullet strips. And so I'm going to be messing around with those here soon too. So like I said, stop into the Yellow Bait House down here if you're in South Florida or coming down the Keys and check them out. They are getting some really cool stuff in there. Gotta love me some bait strips, man. All right, super stoked about the Good Karma Sportfishing app. We've been putting in a lot of work, a lot over the past month. So actually the past few months. So an app is crazy and it's difficult. It's difficult, but I'm building it for the fishermen. So I'm like, I want to keep it really simple. And I'm putting things in the app that you can actually use and apply to fishing, okay? So everything that I'm putting in there is stuff that I want personally. So I'm thinking about me. So what I want to put in there, what I use daily. And one of the things that I use religiously and have been since the age of 12. And I remember going to the bait stores and picking up the monthly solar lunar charts. And I was religious about it. I remember when I would, at summers that I would spend with my grandparents at the lake house in Wisconsin, I would religiously look at these charts every day, and I studied them, and I was like, I need to be out here at this time, but it's in the middle of the night. And oh my God, I would wake up at 2 a.m. and I'd go down and try to figure out the peak bite times, and it was actually pretty crazy because I did a lot of dock fishing and pier fishing. So I was obsessed with the solar lunar charts, and I still am. And everybody thought I was crazy, and I got to tell you what, solar lunar charts work. And guys, they're a simple tool. And I'm not sure about you guys having a tool that tells me when fish are going to bite, and is pretty nice to have, especially when it's fairly reliable. So it's so funny. Everybody's relying on fishing reports and all this other good stuff when you have these old tools out there that are like it was what the fishing guides are using. That's a big secret. Okay, fishing guides use the solar lunar. They use it all the time. Sword fishermen rely on the solar lunar charts. Guys that target wahoo, like myself, I live and die by the solar lunar charts. I religiously study that. And it's really, you want to know what the real secret is to the solar lunar charts? It's when the moon comes up and when the moon goes down. And then those major and minor feeding times that are listed in the charts, okay? It's like you have windows of opportunity around when the moon comes up and when the moon goes down. And then, you have the major and minor feeding times built in around those phases. Now, I know that there's a lot of new fishermen out there and a lot of people buying boats, and saltwater fishing is the craze. And guys, you can go buy a very large boat. You can go buy all the fancy fishing gear, but it's not going to buy you knowledge. Okay, it's not going to buy you knowledge. It's an even playing field out there. Okay, I'm just saying. So I'm giving you new fishermen and the guys that have been fishing for years that really don't know about it. And surprisingly, not a lot of people have done their homework on it. So because I don't know why, I really don't. And everybody's so interested about the fishing reports and what's happening, when they be there, fishing spots, mugging spots. Guys, you can have all the best spots in the world, but if you're not there at the right times and the right places, you're not going to catch them. Okay, because these fish like to feed around certain periods of time. So like I said, the real secret a lot of it is around the solar lunar. When that damn moon comes up, when that moon goes down, and all that other good stuff. So major and minor feeding times around the moon. Now, like you said, you've got sunrise. You could have a good bite 30 minutes before the sunrise. You could have a good bite in the up until 9 o'clock. So a lot of that stuff has to do with the solar lunar. The guys that hunt deer, those guys will sit in a tree stand all day. Okay? It's like a good fisherman will stay out there all day long as well. And it's all about the hunt. And they utilize these tools to say, okay, it didn't happen here, but it might happen here. If I'm at this location at a certain time, that it might help. And you'll see that with sailfish, especially. Sailfish are really in tune with solar lunar and when they start to bite. Now, as you really get into the solar lunar, you're going to try to time when your major and minor times are around peak tides, okay? And then that's when you're going to really start digging into it. You're going to have to say, okay, I got a major feeding time here at this time. Does it correlate to a tide change, okay? Then if you have a frontal system, let's talk about the full moon that we had in November. It was a really good wahoo fishing time. It was good. There were lots of fish. We caught some big ones. We caught one that was over 70 pounds, and it was really good. Okay, but there were a lot of things that came into play. We had a really good moon, and the solar lunars lined up with the peak tides for the bite, and we had longer bite windows because of the way that the moon phases were. October, we had a very strong wahoo bite on the bib and the Duane Rex. That tied in, and a lot of that stuff happened in the evenings, okay? When the peak bite times and when the moon went down or came up around the tide changes in the evening. So there's more to the puzzle. Okay, and now more than ever, with the amount of people that are fishing out there, I'm giving you guys a tool because I know the guys that are listening to the podcast, at least a majority of the guys listening to the podcast, are really wanting to get better. Now, you can live anywhere in the world. You can be a freshwater fisherman, and this really applies to freshwater and cracking that muskie code. Muskie and wahoo bite on the same patterns, okay? That fish is very in tune with the solar lunar, okay? I catch a lot of wahoo. There's a reason why I catch a lot of wahoo is because I'm in tune with the solar lunar, okay? So you really have to think, okay? The sword fishermen, they live and die by it, okay? I know that for a fact. So there's a reason why more guys are catching more swordfish than others on a consistent basis. It's because they're very in tune to where they need to be at a certain time as far as when that fish may bite. They may get, they may or may not get to bite, but a lot of times they do, and a lot of times they catch the fish. They just know where to be. So at the right time. You ever think why they know where to be at the right time? Is because they understand that the fish bites on the solar lunar charts. So, just saying. It's like, there's patterns. You have to learn to figure them out. And the solar lunar is going to help you guys get there. So it's there on the app. It's really easy. So I'm going to be talking more about the solar lunar in the future here. I'm not going to fill it all into one day because I'm going to spread it out a little bit because there are a lot of good nuggets, especially with certain bite patterns and all that good stuff that I'll talk about here in the future. So, but I can't give it all to you today. Got to wait. Sorry, guys. Is what it is. It's a really good tool. Okay, one other thing that I added was on the app, and you got to go to the resource page, are the fish rules for South Atlantic. It tells you all you got to do is just click on the link. It's going to take you to the actual rules. Okay, it'll take you to the actual NOAA rules. It'll show you your fish, and it'll show you everything that you need to know from the South Atlantic fisheries. That's where you need to be getting your rules, okay? The South Atlantic fisheries. So you're out on the boat, pull up my app, you go to resources, you click on it, and it'll take you right to the rules. It'll show you what the seasonal closure is. If you have any questions about, like, for example, like if they change the size, you need to be checking that kind of stuff out, especially for certain fish species because they're changing them every day. You really got to keep up with the NOAA changes, okay? And I just wanted it to be really simple. I didn't want to create a whole bunch of stuff about the fish because that stuff's already out there. Just go to the resource page, click on the NOAA link. It takes you to all the rules, all the rules, and plus you just click on that link for seasonal closures. I made it really simple. And that's where you need to be getting your information is from NOAA, okay? Not just, honestly, you need to be getting you're from NOAA South Atlantic Fisheries Management. That's where you need to be getting your information. So as far as closures go. So that's really all I got today, guys. I'm going to be talking more about the solar lunar here in the future. It's just an awesome, awesome tool. So do some research on it on your own and figure it out. It's there for you on the app. So wake up in the morning, pull up the app, check out when the fish are biting, when the fish might bite, I guess you could say. Figure out the patterns and start putting together the puzzle. That's the fun of it. And you could buy all the fancy boats, all the big 4-engine boats. I see a lot of guys buying 4-engine boats and doing all that stuff. Let me tell you, I'm like, it's pretty crazy. But I do this podcast because I'm trying to help people build knowledge. So I'm taking it a step further with the app by adding tools to help build your knowledge, build your instincts, build your confidence, and make you a better fisher. That will all make you a better. All those things that I just talked about will make you a better fisherman. And most of all, it's really going to help make the most out of your time on the water, meaning that you spend more time catching fish than looking for fish and spending money on fuel. And the price of fuel is going up. So it's going up. Oh, yuck. It is what it is. But that's all I got for today, guys. Thank you in advance for downloading the app. It's the Good Karma Sportfishing app. It's available in the iTunes store and the Google Play Store. It's, like I said, it's a free app. And in the app, I do have all the fishing reports that you can listen to as well. I'll be doing a fishing report here today for everybody. So today is Tuesday, January 19th. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in. And that's it. Thanks for listening. Oh, yeah, you can follow me on Instagram, see what I'm catching. My Instagram name is Good Karma Sportfishing _FL_keys. And check out my website from time to time. And that's goodkarmasportfishing.com. And yeah. Oh, that's it. If you want to join up with the Good Karma Sportfishing Podcast Facebook group, it's a private group. So just submit a request to join, and I'll look over your information. That's all I got. Thanks for listening, guys. And remember, anytime you're fishing, it's all good.